Good morning. Today is the 21st of May and this is the 2022 Retro Rides Weekender at the Goodwood Motor Circuit near Jetta in West Sussex. In part one we had a look at certain cars that are actually around here and some in the car park outside. And one car I did miss is this Persia 205 GTI. This is a pre-facelift one. This is the 1.9, which some people prefer. Some people prefer the 1.6s, and it's absolutely immaculate, like so many of the cars are here today. It's got actually the original interior, original steering wheel, original wheels, and everything like that. So, unlike a lot of the cars here, it's not been modified. One of the things that you do notice at these events is the modified and the non-modified cars sit together, which is interesting. I think everyone's got different taste, and it's good to see all the different tastes together, really, rather than modified cars being in one section and the non-modified cars being in another one. One thing I was going to talk about, viewers, was this Renault 21 Savanna, which I remember when I went to primary school, his parents had one of these. But there is a problem. It's got a badge on it suggesting it has a forbidden fuel engine, and of course we don't talk about diesels on this channel. 1971 to 72 Pontiac Firebird, unlike the Chevrolet Camaro Z28 that we saw in part one, this is a much earlier example of one of these. It's still got the dead chicken on the bonnet. More American luxury here. Lincoln Continental, 1976 to 77 registration. One of you who are sort of more expert in American cars than I am, I'm sure will tell me, what year exactly this is, but that's the plate it's got on it anyway. Little opera windows and all sorts of things. This is more like the sort of thing that I enjoy. 1976-77 Vauxhall Cavalier Mark I GL with a very interesting sunroof and a red interior. Very, very, very nice, viewers. I don't know what engine is in this, probably the 1.6. There was also the 1256 Vauxhall Chevette engine in these, and also I think it's the 1.9 to 2 litres as well. That's from memory, I might be wrong about that. E36, this one. Many E36s here today. This is Cabrio, quite a late one actually on that registration. Not quite a beige leather interior views, but we will keep looking. Later style of steering wheel. It's 328 ISO 9798, so quite a late one. So 323. I think I've seen this before, viewers. This Audi 80 Sport. That's obviously not the registration number it should come with. The power locks I do remember from a car that our neighbours used to take us in sometimes when I was growing up. Had one of these, not a Sport. I don't know what year, it's after the facelift, so I imagine 84, 85. Nissan 300 ZX. It's very sort of a sort of Fast and Furious, this sort of thing. Which I keep forgetting, that film was made actually in 2001, so even now that's a sort of retro film. Yeah, 300 ZX. So I'm not quite sure what year it is because of course it's got a personal plate. 1989 to 90 Mark II Metro, not Austin Metro. Austin badge disappeared from the cars in 1987. I don't know what specification this is actually. Yeah, who knows. That grille does look original though. So one of the later A-series Metros, still with the Austin Rover logo on there, because they had Austin Rover logos on them right up until the end. Another Speedwell sort of mini conversion. It looks like a 60s one, but that's a 7980 registration actually. So goodness knows what this was originally. It's got the later gear knob in it and rev counter and all that sort of stuff. So who knows? And the twin fuel tanks, a Mini 1100, so it'll have a 1098cc in it. My gosh, it's an original Honda Jazz. I can't remember what these were called, like the Honda City in Japan. I've never seen a convertible one of these. I mean, I've seen a Jazz or City of this type for a long time anyway, but I didn't even realise they built a convertible one of these. But this is just absolutely and utterly extraordinary. That is one exceptionally rare car. So yes, 485 registration, Mini Clubman with Leyland cars on the side. I'm not going to start singing the Leyland cars theme, much as some of you want me to. 1977-78 registration on this, but obviously heavily modified with this completely bespoke instrument. It's probably the 78 model year because of those rear lights. 1995 to 96 Mini Cooper. This could be a Japanese import, but I don't know it actually. Beige cloth interior and a wooden dash. Interesting. Now I was expecting to see quite a lot of these actually here today. This is a Mark I Subaru Impreza. I don't know what year this is. Again, a lot of people keep taking these plates off, which, you know, is, I suppose it's nice to you know, show the car, but in terms of identification, it does make things a little bit difficult. Oh, there we go. M registration, so 94, 95. 1972-73 Mini. I don't know what type of Mini this is. Again, I think this has probably been modified. It has been. It's got a Honda VTEC engine in it. I don't know if that's the B series Honda VTEC. Somebody will no doubt tell me, but it's crammed in a rather strange way, because obviously on a Mini the gearbox is in a strange place, and so is the radiator and all kinds of other things. But I bet that's very, very, very fast. E39 BMW 5 Series. We've got a leather interior here. We're still looking for that elusive beige leather interior, which we haven't quite managed yet. Oh, we're going to have to abandon that one, viewers, because we're going to talk about diesels on this channel. I think this is a Chevrolet Monte Carlo. This is 71. I can't remember if one of these actually appears in Tokyo Drift. I have seen that. And the theme tune to that by the Teriyaki Boys is forever etched in my brain. Let's say, life's too short to drive boring cars. This is definitely not a boring car. Yes, Lucas Black. I remember that film. Saw it on a bus in Malaysia in 2006. 1988 to 89 Nissan Laurel 2.4 SGX. I have driven a Laurel, but it was the previous generation to this. I think this is a C32 Laurel. The one I drove was the C31. And I think this is a Japanese domestic market one anyway. Ooh, BMW 5 Series from 85-86. Again, it's got one of these sort of handy things on the window to get your ventilation without people stealing your stuff, which is quite handy. 525e, excellent. Very good. Capable of extremely high mileage, those. Very early Mark II Vauxhall Cavalier. Wow, the X, but yeah, very early. This came out 81. I can't remember if the first ones are on a W or an X plate actually. So the wheel trims are of a slightly later Mark II Cavalier, but this is a very, very early one. That is rather nice. I shall take a photograph of that and give it to Mr. Coleman, a rubbish mechanic. He's very fond of Mark II Cavaliers, and I suspect many of you are as well. The Recaro seats probably are for different models. That is just a 4-speed, so yeah, could be even a base model. 1991-1992 Ford Escort XR3i convertible. This is the Mark 5, but this is one of the early ones. These are pretty rare now, actually. There's not a lot of these left. Another classic Ford, 1985 to 86 Ford Capri Mark III. I don't know what engine this is, oh, I can't give it away because that's aftermarket gear lever. I imagine this is probably a 2.8. Most of them by this stage that are surviving actually, yes, sort of are in one of these late ones. 2000 Renault Sport Cleo. This would be, I think, a 172. Not very good on this sort of thing, viewers. It could be the later 182, but I think with those headlamps, I'd say that's a 172. Oh, this is amazing, viewers. Oh, it's got a beige leather interior. I do like a nice beige leather interior, viewers, particularly when it's on a beautiful 1994 to 1995 Volvo 960 3-litre. Again, a car favoured by Mr. Coleman, rubbish mechanic. He is quite fond of these, and so am I. That is amazing, viewers. Sort of thing I want to take home with me, but I cannot, unfortunately, because somebody else owns it. We've even got some headlamp wiper action going on. So I have the carbon fibre loose spring suspension in the back. 1989 to 90 Renault 5 Super 5. This is the Prima model. I have actually driven one of these. I drove a very late one. It was a Campus, which was the car they kept making after the Cleo came into production. So yeah, GTS Prima 1.4 with the Cleo Font engine in it. And interesting, is that a BMX on top of there? Probably is. 1972 to 73 Lancia Fulvia Series 2 Coupe. Left-hand drive. There aren't very many right-hand drive Fulvia Coupes actually remaining now. There aren't many Fulvias in this country, full stop. That is rather nice. With a bit of rally spec there, because the Fulvias did like to go rallying. Another one of these E30 BMWs. I knew there'd be loads, but there are quite a few already. This is only part 2. Is that a beige leather interior, viewers? Almost as a beige leather interior. Not quite. So 86, 87 registration, so just before the facelift, I think. 1969, 1970 Ford Escort Mark I. I don't know what specification this is. It seems that every Mark I and Mark II Escort you come across is being turned into a sort of RS Mexico replica. The shells are very expensive, even if they're in rough condition these days. But this is immaculate. This one, it's really, really nice. It certainly looks like it's ready to go rallying. Again, with lots and lots of spot lamps. 1988 to 89 Ford Fiesta Mark II XR2 with an interesting rocker cover. This is quite a late one. The production of these finished, I think it was February, March 89, so it's a pretty late XR2. And we've got the correct seats, got the high spec dash. There's Mark II Fiestas came with 2 dashes. This is the highest spec one. I don't know if this is an original colour or not, but I quite like that. I've driven a Mark II Fiesta, but it was a 1.1L auto. That's on Volkswagen Classics. Another Laurel here, a generation of car we didn't get over here. 1991-92. Sorry viewers, I just sneezed off camera. 91-92. This is a manual, this one. All sorts of funny Japanese writing in there. Indicated stalk on the right hand side. And of course modified wheels and load and all sorts of things like that. It looks like fun to drive though. Ooh, viewers. This E30 convertible has got a beige leather interior. I do like that very much, viewers. M Sport gear lever. This one is pretty late actually as far as E30s go. This is on a K, so 92, 93. They made the convertible and the touring for a little bit later than they made the standard E30s, because we went to the E36 after that. 1966 Triumph Spitfire 4 Mark II, based of course on the Herald platform, similar to a GT6. And this one's looking very, very sort of honest and original. 1995 to 1996 Jeep Xj Cherokee. I'm happy to do a review of one of these quite soon, viewers, because Mr. Coleman Rubbish Mechanics actually got one. I don't think this is the limited because it's not got a leather interior. I don't know what's protected. Oh, it's Sport. Okay, it's 4 litre Sport. I was expecting though, if it's the UK market on the right-hand drive, it would actually have a normal number plate. Maybe someone's put. Maybe someone's actually put different plates on it, but it came into this country around 1993. Honda Integra. Is this a DC2 Type R? It might well be. Res up to 10,000 RPM, and you're so fast you don't even need a gear lever gator. So yes, there we go. EJEK Civic hatch. I think that's the B series VTEC engine in this. Again, you used to be able to pick these up for not a lot of money, but you try finding one of these generations of 3-door Civic hatches for, you know, under £2,000 these days. You just sort of can't. Right, we just readjust my bag on my shoulder, and then we'll continue on the next row. 1988 to 89 Volkswagen Jetta Mark II. It says GTT on the back, but I don't think they sold a GTT ever in this country. They certainly didn't sell a Volkswagen edition with seats for the yellow with red striping. That gear lever as well, that looks suspiciously too new for the car. So this has probably got a more modern engine underneath the bonnet. You can take a look at actually. Yeah, that's probably that 1.8 20 valve actually in there. I really like Mark I and Mark II Jettas. They're very, very rare in this country. Yeah, Jetta GTT it says. So we do like that. Someone's got reproduction dealer plates on this from Heritage Volkswagen that used to be in Salisbury. I don't think they call that anymore. Called something else perhaps, but yes, it's interesting. 1982 to 1983 Audi 80 B2 2-door. I don't think they sold the 2-door Audi 80 of this generation in this country, so this is a left-hand drive one. The wheels actually look quite good on it. I don't know if they're designed for something else. They're Rolls racing wheels. Relatively high specs. We've got a rev counter. We've only got a 4-speed gearbox though. We've got the economy. This is a pre-facelift B280, in contrast to the one that we've seen earlier that was a later one, the Sport. And again, I think this had a different engine in it because I don't think they came with a 16 valve option at the time, but I could be wrong. 1998 to 1999 Mercedes-Benz R129 SL. This is the facelifted one with a much nicer steering wheel than the ones that were earlier, and someone's put, I think, a modern system in there with USB, because you wouldn't have had a USB port on the stereo in about that sort of time. So it's the 320. So forget what generation of Prelude this is called, but this looks like a Japanese domestic market one. 93, 94. I very much like these. When I was a lot younger, a friend of mine, really was one of my mother's, I should say, he was the sales manager of a dealership in Southampton called John Bott Automobiles, who sold Honda and Suzuki. And one day he took me for a drive in one of these. It's a 2.3 auto, actually about 110 miles an hour. I will not tell you where it was because I don't want to get him in trouble, but it was fun. Particularly fun when you're about 10, which I was. 1994 to 1995 Toyota MR2 SW20. What rev this is, I absolutely, utterly no idea. This is the 16 valve, non-turbo. Again, we had Marshall Rolf Southampton, who were the Toyota dealer at the time. Plates from the local area too. 1995 to 96 Persia 106 Rally. Quite a late pre-facelift 106. Rally was a special edition, I think, with a 1.3 engine in it. Yeah, look at this one. I don't think any of you ever's got the engine out of a Rally. Contrast to this rather nice. This is a pre-facelift 205. It's an XS. I think this is a 1.4. Similar TU engine to the 106, but a little bit different. I think it's 1360 in this. This is quite nice. A sort of kind of light version of the GTI. So we've got the sort of earlier bit back end. The later 205s had a sort of different rear end from this. Mainly they changed the light units on either side, but later cars got a different sort of panel as well. Ooh. 1987 to 1988 BMW M5. Wow. Ooh. This is a nice car, viewers. A very fast, nice car. PBS alloy wheels as well. That is rather tasty. 2001. I think this is a Toyota Chaser, viewers. I think it is. I've seen this before. Maybe even last year, actually, at the same event. I think this is a Toyota Chaser. We've not got any badges on it, but yes, I think it's a Toyota Chaser. Obviously not sold in this country. Another one of these Swindon Civics, we used to call them back in the day. 5-door Honda Civic, not based on the same platform as the earlier one we saw. Slightly different because it's the HHR Rover 400 platform. It is related to things like the EG and EK and EJ Civics, but the base car of this was the Honda Damani that came out in 1992. It was actually a 4-door car, and then this is a 5-door version of that, and the HHR Rover 400 had both 4 and 5-door versions. This is the VTIS, so it will have the I think this will be the 1.8 VTEC in this. 167 horsepower, I think, which a bit much for those front wheels, so you get lots of tyre squeal. Bmw M5. It's taken a while to actually see the first of the MX5s. It's taken rather a long time. I'm quite surprised about that, actually. But there we go. 1984 Volkswagen Golf Mark II GTI. This is a really early one. Very early Mark II. I think it's the earliest Mark II GTI I've ever seen, actually. 1995 to 1996 Mazda RX-7. I think this is the FD series, this one. Yeah, 95-96. Which is the F-INI, so it's the type of Mazda from the Japanese domestic market. Oh, another Mark II Jetta. This is more what I would expect to see. 1989 to 90, facelifted Mark II Jetta GTI. I thought it was called a GLI, but I think this is just a GTI, rather like the Mark II Golfs would be. Different steering wheel, interesting instruments there, been replaced with something else. And you've got something rather special in here, viewers, which is not the original engine that would have been here, not the 1.8. That is something else entirely. Could be interesting. So a later Mark II Golf GTI. This looks like the... Ooh, someone swapped the engine in this. This has got the 1.8 20 valve in it, which would have come in the Mark IV Golf. But big bumper model, 91-92. Late Mark III Vauxhall Cavalier. I think this is just an LS, although those alloy wheels have come off something like a CDX or something like that. Yeah, cloth interior. Quite a late one of these. Production of these finished in late 95. I think this is a 94 and 95. Mark II Polo bread van pre-facelift with the scariest looking wheels I've ever seen in my entire life. It says it's a C on the back, but who knows what's under there. That front end has definitely been changed. The C would have only had 2 headlamps. Rather like that. I do like these Starlets. This isn't the Starlet I drove. I drove an 88 Starlet with no budget reviews. But this is a little bit later. This is a 91-92 registration. It's just a GL like most Starlets were in this country. So yeah, Central Secondhand Classics. I drove one of those last year. Drove an earlier Starlet, one no budget reviews last year. And it's got a Toyota Racing Development gear lever. Another one of these Mark II pilots. I'm sorry we haven't seen more, but I've just seen there's loads more of actually here. We'll cover in part 3. This one's a GT bred van. There was also a G40 version. I always forget whether we got the GT and G40 versions officially over here, because this still says a C. So again, a late pre-facelift from '89. My father had a sort of later pre-facelift, because it was '87 on a D, the white one, not modified of course. Last revision, Toyota Mr2 Sw20. This is a 1999 plate. I like this colour. I don't know where those wheels have come from. There's probably off something else or something like that. I don't know. Mark IV Ford Escort Estate, 2-door estate. Wow. Just a type of car you don't see. We don't see 2-door estates anymore, really. This one's been fitted with the Ford Focus ST engine in it. But it's a bit faster than what it had originally. And ooh, an RS steering wheel. It's still not got a rev counter. It's quite a low spec one then, in that case. 1985 Austin Metro 1.3 HLE. This is a Mark II Metro. The 5-door HLEs are actually quite rare. They only made them for 1 year. I think October 84 to late 85. This is, I think, a February 85. This is the car we actually saw last year at this event. Another Lancia Fulvia. This is a Series 1 Fulvia, 1967. Right-hand drive, so most likely a UK car, which is always nice to see. I don't know what engine's in this. The standard ones I think had a 1.2 engine. So this is a Series 2 Fulvia. This one's an HF, 1600 HF, 1972 to 73. Very proudly wearing the HF graphics on here. Like a lot of the HFs, no bumpers of course. Very, very nice. I would like to drive a Fulvia, very much. Ooh, Audi 80. I think this is the B4 model. Yes, 1993 to 4 registration. Those wheels are off something else. I'm not actually sure. There's not much clearance there, viewers. The suspension's probably a bit hard. So yes, I'm not sure what's in there. Ooh, E36 Convertible 325. Is that a beige leather interior, viewers? I do like a nice beige leather interior. I'm not sure what. Yeah, those Snows are actually the local BMW franchise in Eastleigh, or at least they were. They're not now. They're called something else, called Partridge now, but they were at the time that car was made. Mark I Golf with
16 valve AFH of a Polo 6S.
I don't think it's a forbidden fuel one anymore, viewers. I'm not actually sure what that is. I don't know what that is at all. It's originally a forbidden fuel engine, but don't think so now. So it's a 77. Not a Swallowtail. Those were, I think, made until 74. So 75. Not for very long. Another Mark II Jetta. This one's a 2-door, so definitely not a UK car originally, and of course it's left-hand drive, which again gives that away. This is ABF, so again someone's put the 1.8 20 valve engine in this with interesting kind of things there. Ooh, Audi 80 Coupe, not a Quattro. We haven't got the flared arches or anything on this, so it's just the coupe. So we've got an early one actually. 80... No, not a Quattro. Quattros have the flared arches. 81, 82 registration. Another one of these late Mark II Golf GTI, 16 valve plus. I wonder what that means. So yes, 91, 92 with the big bumpers. Is that the original 1.8, but there's bits done to it? Who knows? I certainly don't. Ooh, early Mark II Cherokee 84, 85 registration, so pre-facelift one, store model, and someone has fitted something rather delightful to it, a beige leather interior. Very nice. Well viewers, that's an appropriate place to stop part 2 of a Slightly Shambolic Shuffle around the 2022 Retro Rides Weekender. Thank you ever so much indeed once again for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like this video, leave a comment below. It all very much helps out, and we shall see you the next part for yet more shambolic shuffling.